The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. In that time, it has built mountains taller than clouds, carved canyons deeper than skyscrapers, painted lakes in colors that have no name, and grown forests so ancient they predate human memory. We have explored almost all of it. And yet, some places still stop us completely, still make us forget to breathe. These are 10 of the most beautiful places on Earth. And by the end of this video, you will want to pack a bag and disappear into all of them. Zhangjiajie, China. In the Hunan province of China, thousands of sandstone pillars rise straight out of the mist like floating mountains. Some of them are over 200 meters tall. Many are topped with green trees, growing impossibly at the edge of the sky. This landscape was so otherworldly that the filmmakers of Avatar used it as the visual inspiration for the floating mountains of Pandora. Interesting fact, Zhangjiajie has the world's longest and highest glass-bottomed bridge, stretching 430 meters across a canyon with nothing but clouds below your feet. The Maldives, Indian Ocean. Scattered across the Indian Ocean like pieces of broken turquoise glass, the Maldives is a nation made almost entirely of water. Over 1,000 coral islands sit just above sea level, surrounded by lagoons so clear you can see the ocean floor from an airplane window. At night, some beaches here glow blue, bioluminescent plankton lighting up every wave like living fire. Interesting fact: the Maldives is the lowest-lying country on Earth. Its highest natural point is just 2.4 meters above sea level, making it one of the most vulnerable places to rising oceans. Plitvice Lakes, Croatia. Deep inside a Croatian forest, 16 lakes are connected by a chain of waterfalls, each one flowing into the next. The water shifts from emerald to turquoise to deep blue, depending on the minerals, the light, and the time of day. Wooden walkways take you directly over the water, above the falls, through the trees. It feels less like a national park and more like a fairy tale you accidentally walked into. Interesting fact: the travertine barriers that create Plitvice's famous waterfalls are still growing, shaped by mosses, algae, and minerals, meaning the landscape is slowly changing its own shape every year. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. High in the Bolivian Andes, at over 3,600 meters above sea level, lies the largest salt flat on Earth. After rain, a thin layer of water covers the surface, and it becomes the world's biggest mirror. The sky reflects so perfectly that the horizon disappears. You cannot tell where the ground ends and the clouds begin. People walk through it and look like they are floating inside the sky. Interesting fact, Salar de Uyuni contains over half of the world's known lithium reserves, buried beneath all that salt and silence. Antelope Canyon, USA. In the desert of Arizona, water and wind have carved a narrow slot canyon through red sandstone over millions of years. The walls twist and flow like frozen waves, stacked in layers of orange, pink, and deep crimson. At certain hours, beams of sunlight fall straight down through the narrow opening above, turning the canyon floor into something that looks painted by hand. Interesting fact, Antelope Canyon is located on Navajo Nation land. Its Navajo name means the place where water runs through rocks, a perfect description of how it was born. Lofoten Islands, Norway. Above the Arctic Circle, in northern Norway, jagged mountain peaks rise straight out of the sea. Small red and yellow fishing villages cling to the rocks at the water's edge, their reflections shimmering in the fjords below. In winter, the northern lights dance overhead. In summer, the midnight sun never fully sets, and the sky turns gold and pink for hours on end. Interesting fact, Lofoten has been a fishing community for over 1,000 years. Vikings dried their cod here in the cold Arctic air, a tradition that continues to this day. Ha Long Bay, Vietnam. In the Gulf of Tonkin in northern Vietnam, nearly 2,000 limestone islands and islets rise out of the sea, draped in jungle and wrapped in morning mist. Traditional wooden boats glide slowly between them through water the color of jade. Inside some of the islands, enormous caves hide entire ecosystems, stalactites, underground lakes, and passages that lead to hidden lagoons no one has named. Interesting fact, Ha Long means descending dragon in Vietnamese. Legend says a family of dragons descended from the heavens and spat out jewels that became the islands to protect the Vietnamese people from invaders. Sossusvlei, Namibia. In the Namib Desert of southern Africa, the world's tallest sand dunes rise over 300 meters into a sky so blue it almost hurts to look at. The sand is a deep, burning orange, the color of rust and fire. At dawn, the light catches one side of each dune and leaves the other in complete shadow, creating forms so sharp and perfect they look like something drawn, not natural. Interesting fact, the Namib Desert is the oldest desert on Earth, at least 55 million years old. Some of its sand dunes have been moving, grain by grain, for longer than humans have existed. Cappadocia, Turkey. In central Turkey, ancient volcanic eruptions created a landscape of strange, towering rock formations called fairy chimneys. Over thousands of years, early Christians carved entire cities, churches, and homes directly into the soft rock. Every morning at sunrise, hundreds of hot air balloons rise above the valleys, drifting silently over the chimneys in the golden light. It is one of the most surreal images on Earth. Interesting fact, some of the underground cities of Cappadocia descend 18 floors below the surface and were large enough to shelter tens of thousands of people, along with their livestock, for months at a time. Fiordland, New Zealand. At the southwestern corner of New Zealand's South Island, Fiordland National Park contains some of the most dramatic scenery on the planet. Sheer cliffs fall thousands of meters into dark, mirror-still waters. Waterfalls pour down every rock face. Rainforests cling to vertical walls. The most famous fjord here is Milford Sound, described by Rudyard Kipling as the eighth wonder of the world. On a rainy day, hundreds of temporary waterfalls appear all at once, running down the cliffs like silver threads. Interesting fact, Fiordland is one of the wettest places on Earth, receiving up to 8 meters of rainfall per year. That rain feeds a permanent layer of fresh water on top of the saltwater fjords, creating a unique ecosystem found almost nowhere else. Ten places, 6 continents, 1 planet. From the salt mirrors of Bolivia to the mist-covered pillars of China. From the Arctic glow of Norway to the ancient desert sands of Namibia. The world is bigger, stranger, and more breathtaking than any screen can ever fully show. These places are not just beautiful. They are reminders that the Earth spent billions of years creating wonders we are only just beginning to find. The question is not whether you should see them. The question is, which one comes first? The world is not waiting, and neither should you.